Rishi, I want to talk to you about a common problem that I come across when I do my customer research on why people don't buy a product. Okay. So usually I run a survey or an exit poll on the website where I ask, what's one thing that is holding you back from making a purchase? And oftentimes, especially with large e-commerce brands, one of the common themes I've seen over and over and over across a lot of different clients is that people are now buying because the product is out of stock, and that makes sense, right? Like if you visit a website and the product that you want to buy is out of stock, that's a conversion friction, right? Now, even if it's 2023, I've still seen websites that on the product page they communicate that the product is out of stock, but they don't do anything to collect the email address of the person so the person can be notified when the product is back in stock. Okay, which is like, okay, the user has shown some sort of interest into the product. Obviously, we don't know when, if the product is going to be back in stock in like 3 months, it might be a little bit tricky to collect the email address, because if we're talking about a product where the purchase cycle is very short, maybe the user is going to go and buy it somewhere else, right? But if the product is going to be back in stock soon, it makes sense to start collecting the email address on the product page. But here's another thought about this, okay? If you're using badges on category pages to say, hey, the product is out of stock, right? You should also collect the email address on the category page, because if the user sees that the product is out of stock, why the hell will the user visit the product page? Like, there's no reason for the user to visit the product page if you communicate with a badge and category page that the product is out of stock. So it's good practice to also collect the email address on a category page. What is
Yeah.
your thought on this?
Yeah, no, on the product page, it's interesting. On the product page, to me, it absolutely makes sense. On the category page, while I agree with you that it's a good idea to have the email captured on the category page as well. First of all, I do think it's a good idea on the category page as well. But one thought I have is that it could also be a strategic way to kind of maybe increase the stock value of some other products that are on the category page, saying that, oh, these 3 products are out of stock, maybe I should, so it's a very implied way of saying, like, so I think that could play either way. But on the product page, it absolutely makes sense. And the only advice I would give to brands, and this is something that I think you and I have talked about a lot, is that, sometimes people will look at what we're saying and kind of apply it on a literal sense and say, okay, we should have an email capture on the category page. So the way I look at it is that category pages are already pretty cramped. So the tension that you need to be aware of is that have the courage to also remove certain elements from the category page as well, so the balance is not lost. Otherwise, if you're just cramming in, like, let's say you have like 4 products that are out of stock, you've got this big email sign up box. It's also, just be aware of the balance. That's the only feedback I would give. But yes, I totally agree with your idea.
Yeah, there's another reason. I actually do have some data around why it makes sense to collect the email address when a product is back in stock, is out of stock. So I have analyzed the Google Analytics account a lot of different e-commerce, probably
Yeah.
like, well, I don't know how many, but like dozens. Okay. And one of the things that I do is I always take a look at what the different campaigns, the marketing campaigns, are performing for each channel. And I always break it down into like email marketing campaign, and sometimes clients even have like different names for different email marketing campaigns. And when I drill into the different email marketing campaigns, I always see that whenever a client collects email addresses when a product is out of stock, that campaign has always the highest conversion rate. And that makes total sense, because the user has told you that he's or she's interested in that product. So when the product is back in stock and you email them about it, it makes sense that there is a higher conversion rate there. So
Yeah.
just wanted to show, some data on this as well.
Yeah, no, I love it. I think it's great. I think it's great. Thank you for sharing it, guys. As Lorenzo mentioned, this is an idea that, we think has, there's been a lot of improvement on this, but we still find it out there. And remember, even if you have this in place, right, what we are doing is we're challenging you to push it further. How would you make it better? From a messaging perspective, from a discovery perspective, from all of these perspectives, it can be made better. So even if you have it, doesn't mean that you can't make it better. So focus on that and give us a like if you agree with this, and we will see you with another episode. Take care. Ciao.